Right. Are you working? Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Hey, it works. Okay, let's go. It was a bit touch and go in places, I grant you. But here we all are, and all with our bits still attached. This calls for a foaming flagon of... Hold on, are we missing someone? Didn't I tell Utada to wait for us here? Never fear, we've been keeping the girl company. But enough about her. Did you see the cannon on that ship? As you know, my dear Leofard, I am not so easily moved, with the sheer power on display set me all a-quiver. Well, I hope you're content to admire it from afar. That vessel ain't for the likes of you and me. Don't you presume to measure me by your own limitations. Besides, I believe I've shown how resourceful I can be. Which brings me neatly to the point. You... Oh. There you go. Perfect. The compass pointing the way to my just reward. A weapon like that belongs in the hands of one with the will to use it. Come, lads. Our business here is concluded. Our business?
Our business.
I'm sorry, Captain. They caught me off guard. Get a bag on the head or something? The man I know would never give in to scum like her without a fight. Unless... what did you do to the compass? Who, me? Not. Besides slipping a link pearl into its casing. As long as Radia keeps it close, and you can be damn sure she will, we'll know exactly what them thieving bastards are planning. Anyone else care to wager how long it'll take for her to notice me little gift? That's very clever and all, but how are you proposing to stop her from getting her hands on the derelict in this great big cannon? I ain't worked that part out yet, but I suspect it'll start with us staying a close eye, or keeping a close eye on the talents. Before we get into any of that, though, I got some questions I need answering. You wish to know more about the Void Ark? The ghost ship, as you call it. The Void Ark, so that's its proper name. I'd like to hear what you'd care to tell us, Puss. And I, for my part, am curious to hear your stories. Ere we continue, however, I must insist that you address me by my proper name, Kate Sith. I will not respond to Puss or Cat, and most decidedly not Furball. Kate Sith, that was with Kishi. Must not be the killer god then.
Oh, this cat's pacing.
Mm-hmm. My tale begins long, long ago in the city of Mach, where once stood the lands of Yafame. The sorcerers of Mihi were masters of destructive magics, and they brought that terrible power to bear against Amdapor and Mim in the War of the Magi. The titanic forces they unleashed, however, took a heavy toll upon the land, ultimately resulting in a colossal flood that drowned the realm of Eorzea, a catastrophe where my master, High Void Mage Cessair, was wise enough to foresee. Wait. Colossal flood? Are you talking about the 6th Umbral Calamity? I suppose you'd know it as such. But where was I? Ah, yes. When they learned of the fate that awaited them, the Malachi Magi began construction of a gargantuan vessel that would bear their peoples to the skies and to safety. Prior to that, of course, my master had been a prisoner in her own home, confined for her unspoken opposition to the war, or perhaps outspoken. You know, they're both kind of similar, right? So the Ark was meant as a sanctuary? And how did it come to be so, What happened to all the people? And where did all the void scent come from? By what power do you imagine such a massive craft remains aloft? The energy required to raise the ark was siphoned from over 1,000 otherworldly servants sealed within the vessel. Advances in Malachi sorcery were made for one reason and one reason only: cataclysmic destructive power. And the swiftest and most dangerous method of acquiring that power was through the enslavement of void-sent entities. What, so the creatures in the derelict, they broke free from your master's control? At the very heart of the ark, the Void Mages had entombed a great ruler of the Void Sent, Skatash, the Shadow Queen. But in order to control so potent a prisoner, a mage of adamant will was required, and being Mach's preeminent sorcerer, Cessair was deemed best qualified, were it otherwise my master might never have been released from her own imprisonment. Yet even with Cessair's peerless skill, the Shadow Queen could not long be subjugated. One after another, the lesser void scent awoke and ran rampant within the ship. In the end, Cessair and the 53 void mages aboard the ark sacrificed their own life energies to return the fiends to their coffins, leaving me, a lowly familiar, to watch over a derelict prison. If I remember me umbral eras right, the stuff you just described happened more than 1,500 years past, which is a good while by anyone's measure. And since everything seems to have been quiet on board your boat till just recently, I'm thinking something unusual must have happened to wake the inmates up. Am I warm? One day, a void scent that had taken the shape of a bat flew into the sky. At first, it was little more than a nuisance that I brushed away, but the longer it remained on the ark, the stronger it seemed to become. Eventually, I could not contend with its power, and it began shattering seal after seal. So we're looking for this Batman? Ah, but you looked upon the true form of this fiend as he broke the chains holding the Queen's coffin. I can only assume that he is one of Skatath's subjects, intent on bringing about her return. Well, that explains that, then, except for one small detail, namely, where the Queen's coffin went. After it fell out of the ship's belly, I'm assuming it didn't just disappear, right? You recall the great rift that the ark's cannon ripped in the sky. That was a void gate. Such a portal remains a temporary path through the void, allowing the ship to travel almost instantaneously from one location to another. The void scent, as you saw, only opened a gate large enough to displace the coffin. As for the coffin's destination, however, that is as much of a mystery to me as it is to you. I beseech you, conquerors of the ark, help me find the Queen's coffin ere the wards binding Skatath are dispelled. Smells to me like an adventure, and who knows what ancient Malachi treasures might be stumbled upon on the way. Gods know they'll make a nice change from all them elegant tombstones we've been collecting. I will help you. I'm not risking me hide for the sake of the realm, you understand, but I'm damned if I'm going to let Radley and her bat-winged bastard take the freedom of the skies from me. You care only for how you might be inconvenienced? If the Shadow Queen were to return, it would have dire consequences for this entire star. Count your blessings, Furball. I said we'd help, didn't I? Before we go rushing off in search of that coffin, though, there's preparations to be made. Might as well get back to your usual heroic employment, Pieter. I'll let you know when it's time to round up your mates again. Boom. The time is nigh, my dear Talons. Soon we shall seize control of the ghost ship and all of its power, and rule the sky. Let me get some water. Then we shall continue. All right. I'm gonna go tuck over here really quick. Stacia appears to be in need of your assistance. Peter, I was just about to fly out to Ishgard and track you down. You remember Kate Sith, is Malachi familiar? We've been working with him on a plan to find Diablos in the Queen's coffin. There's been void scent sightings from pirates all over, so we know that bat-winged bugger is hiding somewhere in the sky, and we just don't know exactly where. And as for going about pinpointing the location, Leofard and the feline are bickering over exactly how. So that's where you come in. If you've got a spare moment or two, we could use a third opinion to break the stalemate. Besides all that, Leofard's eager to have another hand to help with the search. So come on over to Perak as soon as you're able. You know the way from here, don't you? Let's see here. See what to do, never reap. Alright, so never reap.
You're so proper, and I'm just so childish.
Yes, you're just a giggly girl. Do never reap. Indeed. After that, I'll do some missions that are not missions with us, so you can go off and do your own thing.
Actually, I'm all good if you want to keep on doing that.
Right. I'm out of dungeons after this. I have to go find some more dungeons. Sorry, I'm not moving as fast with Pieter as I was with my alt. So you have placed yourself in a position where I can't really do much. every particular platform. I thought tornadoes are usually good in games.
Ah, it throws you like that.
Okay, friend, you're running out of my range. Yeah, you're about to die. You died. Got him.
Okay, I can't keep you alive, bud. You're dying too fast. Yep, he died.
I'll have to set up somewhere else. Meow, says cat. Cat says meow.
Mm-hmm. Welcome.
Alright.
I'm just done.
Objective fulfilled. Alright. And I am now going to do these missions. So off I go. You can join me if you wish. Okay, as you wish, my love. I may have to disband the party a couple times. I do my what's-its. I'm a dancer. And drag for a bit. Dragging on and on, dragging on and on. What a beautiful land. Everything looks so clean, but my body shivers as if I have fallen in a river. I feel cold all the time. What an unpleasant feeling. Yes, most unpleasant. Let us hurry and find the leader of these dragon slayers. And back we go this way. Hello, I'm meeting the Dragon Slayers with a dragon. I hope that's not a problem for any of you. I know you personally find dragons to be like the worst thing ever. Trust me, these dragons is fine. Aren't you, dragon? I will feast upon your blood. Oh, don't worry, he's just doing that as a joke. I swear, he's really quite friendly. Yes. Yes, I'm here with a bunch of bugs. An apprentice? Well, there's this aspiring adventurer. By the fury, an enormous armored crab? I knew this day would come. 'Tis my reckoning for many nights I buttered and supped upon his kin. No matter, I have no regrets. What a strange greeting. I am that deft arm, an adventurer who will perform any task you require, but I request fire sand as my reward. I must be dreaming. A talking crab and one requesting fire sand at that. Oh, you speak as if we have all to spare. Yet it is as if it is a waking dream, and I might as well entertain this crab's offer. Slay the lesser dragons which that plague our camp at present, and fire sand you shall have. There's little glory for us in slaying such frail fiends, yet you, as a greenhorn, might find it a suitable challenge. But I have never killed a dragon before, even a small one. You said you would perform any task, did you not? I gave you my conditions. Go on, rid us of the dragon nuisance. How about a bundle of sapling branches for arrow shafts instead? Surely you are in need of quality arrows to take care of your foes yourself. We have no need for primitive sticks when we can procure the finest arrows from Ishgard. If you do not do as we bade, then I have no use for you. What shall I do? I cannot kill a dragon. I could not even face the one mine. Perhaps I cannot be useful after all.
Stop being dramatic.
That is not true. You'll have lots of skills. But he asks an impossible task. How can one of my size be able to rid this camp of an entire horde of... But of course, killing dragons is beyond my skills, but driving them away is my specialty. Master, I have a plan. Could I ask you to provide a fire outside of the camp? I will return once I have found the herbs I need. Herbs? For burning? I've heard tales of smokescreens used to keep dragons at bay, but never seen it done. I suppose you'll need some firewood. Here. Thank you.
And now you summon the fire, huh?
Probably. Trust me, anything that anyone else can do, they ask me to do it instead. It is their way.
I'm close by observing.
Mm-hmm. Our scouts have spotted a group of lesser dragons approaching from beyond the ridge. Now then, where is that apprentice of yours? I'm not sure, actually. I found them. I found them. Set these withered herbs ablaze. It will create a thick smoke that offends the senses of dragons nearby. They have no choice but to retreat. This had better work. If I find you've wasted my time, I shall be most displeased. See for yourself. By the Fury, it does work. The little bastards flitted away with their tails between their legs. My apologies for doubting you, adventurer. We shall take as many herbs as you can offer, and you will receive due compensation, of course. Fire sand, was it? Yes. Oh, yes, it is my pleasure to serve. If you have any other tasks for it, please send word to our guild in the west. You'll have a guild. Excellent. Excellent. If it means the convictors will be spared their time to concentrate on the lesser threats at hand, you can count on our patronage.
Yay.
Yeses. I am glad I did not give up. Although it felt like slaying the dragons would be less work. My legs grew so cold in the snow. I feared they might freeze and snap. Let us return home. I must speak with a storyteller about our new client. Excellent. off the tail feather we go. Fly over this ridge and go say hello to the bar. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong voice. I need to get my voices straight. The Death Arm. He has not returned to the colony yet. He was not with you. That's not good. The Renegade Hunter returns. Did you find Melee? Did you find flexible, pliable Melee branches? Here you go. Branches from 2 Melee. 1 would be plenty, but with 2 fleshlings will be very pleased. These branches will make great arrows for chocobo hunting, and so fleshlings say. I seem to enjoy making arrows. Yes, many arrows. Until now, Melee were only a nuisance. Their limbs bear no fruit, their bark inedible. Hunting in the smoldering wastes was bothersome. Now Melee have value thanks to hunters. Fourthly back, Nanka eggs always have great value. They are a delicacy, a very tasty treat. We offer them to the hunters, but they say their eggs are putrid. Such strange fleshlings they are. Yes, very strange. Oh, nope. Gotta do this other mission first. Hello, Death Arm. How are you? Forgive my lateness, Master. I was unsure of the path. We have secured as much fire sand for our cannons. Much fire sand. The colony's defense will be guaranteed as long as we maintain relations with the Dragon Slayers. How vast this world is, I am hungry to see more of it. But for now, the guild needs tending. Our alliance will have many tasks for us. Until next time, Master. Travel quest complete. They've got big guns, and they cannot lie. Yes, accepting some missions would be a good idea, probably, for you. The Convictors are now clients of the Adventurers Guild. I'm about to accept some more from them as well. Reputation up! In my mind, I am now trusted in the Vath. New Vath durable daily quests are now available in the Vath Kenai. Furthermore, you'll be able to undertake 3 additional quests from the Vath Kenai's reputation rank bonus. This bonus is available for the daily reset time of the tribal quests. These additional quests will become available after accepting all current daily quests in Vath Kenai. Please be advised you cannot undertake these quests if you have no remaining allowances. You now have access to a wider selection of wares from the Vath Stick Peddler. Alright, we've already done this one. Getting the shaft. Welcome, Great Hunter. Not long ago, we received a request from the fleshlings of Tailfeather. Just a few bells past, they asked us would we procure Melia branches. Would you go out and gather them for us? More Melia branches? Melia prefer soil in the smoldering wastes best. Here, let me mark your map with locations of good budding grounds. 3 places, 3 chances to find Melia branches. If you see them, defeat them quickly, then bring back what you find. Request from fleshlings grow stranger by the day. Tailfeather hunters ask us for herbs, but not for eating or self-making. Fleshlings want to make smoke for recreation. They say inhaling smoke has a pleasing effect, but we do not understand. Smoke is for driving away dragons or vermin. This use of smoke seems very, very strange. Yes, much too strange. We do not understand what you are a fleshling too. We understand you understand this practice of smoke breathing. Yes. This is why we ask that you gather the gatherer's herbs. You may find herb sprouts in the smoldering waste, but we do not need many. 3 herb sprouts would do nicely. Yes, yes, very nicely. Great hunter, please, you must help. We received terrible news from Tailfeather. The hunters suffer from vermin infestation. They say the crops and tasty greens are in danger. Tasty greens are precious to the Voth. Yes, yes, very precious. Our brothers and sisters will starve without them. The Kintamer has fitted our Konmagamatu with canisters of repellent to drive off the pests. Go quickly, great hunter. Fly to Tailfeather and spray the crops. Lately, the convictors harvest much of their gil in the construction of larger cannons. However, they are not satisfied with their performance, not satisfied at all. To fire a single round, 3 times the normal amount of fire sand is required. This is far too much. We offered to help our friends find a better alternative, so between missions, we spent time experimenting. Finally, success. We created a new fire sand mixture, much more potent than the old, but there is a problem. During our research, we exhausted our supply of other essential components. We need the 3 bags of fire sand from Revolia Fallen and 3 pieces of dead wood from the smoldering waste. Please, great adventurer, could you go and fetch them for us? Adventurer, your timing is most fortuitous. The Victory has just sent us a request. They ask for the standard shipment of silver dew. Please go and collect 4 sprigs of precious plants for us. Silver dew is plentiful in Albonia Fallen. However, take heed. Recently, the One Mind has been driven into a frenzy. Many have been observed harvesting these herbs. They will not take kindly to your presence. How strange, you fleshlings. We talk with you and we trade with you, yet we do not understand. Why do you love this thing called wine so much? It dulls the senses. We do not like this. Why, you ask? The Convictory once requested we procure a quake of wine. We did not know where to find it, so we made our own, improvising as necessary with special ingredients. They are insatiable. The orders come, and oh, we work hard. We cannot meet demands. We run low on supplies. Great hunter, please help us. Your generosity knows no bounds. The key ingredient of our wine is the clamel-free fruit, a juicy fruit found in the chocobo forest. Please, please bring back 3. The 3 fruits, the best fruits, fly on the forest floors. They are the most ripe. All right. The Kogumoto are ready to spray the tasty greens. Be careful, the pest repellent is very pungent. I spilled it once. The smell was much too strong for me. Yes, yes, much too strong. Alright. Let us go flying. It's time to go bugging bugs. What the? By the gods, it's everywhere. Oh, my eyes are burning. I take it this was meant for the crops. Well, I think you missed the spot. Please, I beg you, mind your aim. Oh, God's wife. Oh, I think I'm going to be ill. Oh, at least the bugs are gone now. Oh, before you go, mind making a trip to the Chocobo Forest? Those bugs have been eating our greens every chance they get. When they have 2 traps out there we're using for bait. The last thing we need is for these traps to go empty before the Chocobos find them. Of course. Oh God, what was that awful taste? Please tell me you didn't get it in my mouth. Are you serious? Leave me the hell alone. Stupid bug. Bug's been driven away. So I sprayed the bug repellent, and I was interrupted by a bug. And it wouldn't let me spray the bug repellent.
Perfect.
I started to spray the bug repellent. It wouldn't let me complete it. Very frustrating. It's all your fault. Insects swarming the Aegis greens have been driven away. Ah, fogweed. There's one fogweed. Two fogweed. Third one should be over there. Three fogweed. Ah. Meanwhile, let's find out what this destination's all about. What is all of this, then? It's a hostile presence. Deadwood branch. More deadwood around. Another one over here. And more right there. Gotta get all this stuff taken care of at once, so we're gonna head back and collect our bounty all at once. Booty? Yes, collect the booty. This is important. Some red sand. sand. And more red sand. Grab some silver dew. Morning, CJ. How you doing? The leveling jobs to 60. I am currently just trying to get through all of the random crap the game gives you to do. At the moment, I'm going through Voth quests, the Beast Tribe quests. Vile fleshling, how dare you steal our duel? But I'm using the opportunity to level up my damage. I'm sorry, what? Okay. You go slip if you need to. Thank you for hanging. If I come across a dungeon, I won't run it. I'll run it with you. Have a good nap, my love. We had a late night last night. Partying hard. And I had a much later night than I did, so yeah, she's out. Leave now, fleshling, or die where you stand. Office party. Office Christmas party on Friday. So yesterday recovering from that. Yeah, today is a recovery day for us. But I cannot miss my stream. This is important. Did get a late start though today. This poor Chocobo struggles so much to handle my weight. Chocobo's like, I'm not actually strong enough to carry you, but we're gonna give it the old college try. Hi, Smokey. Meow is correct. I only got 2 hours left in the stream. Not worth setting up the camera. Okay, killing trees fruit. That's the one. Two, picking them up off the ground, so that's how you know they're good. Okay. Let's deliver all this crap. Hi, Kitty. Yes, I love you too, man. Kitty is insistent on the love, whether he's on camera or not. He's like, camera, I know none of these things. However, I do know you're playing a game, therefore I need love. Oh, you're so distracting. That game with the kitty's just hard mode, right? Loth Ast Voth, cast out of the main colony, the minority of Noth, known as the Non-Mind, built Loth Ast Voth as a sanctuary for other exiles. The word Voth is derogatory in the Nothic tongue, referring to those who no longer link with their thoughts to the hive mind, the overmind. Possessed of individual personalities, unlike the One-Mind brothers, the Voth learn to live with each other's differing thoughts in the makeshift colony. Of course, freedom of thought is considered bad amongst the Voth. But they're not. Nah, whatever. Okay. Bugging the bugs. Are the vermin gone? The tasty greens are safe. This is good news. Yes, very good news. Hunters are always still thinkable. At least we think so. Lewis Nett once said, "Bugger me if it's not the best trick I ever saw." We don't quite understand. Bugs are bad for tasty greens, yes? Why does he wish to be a bug? You have returned. So you bring the red sand and the dead wood. Here's red sand, here's dead wood. After your long journey, you must be keen to know how about this process. You see, red sand, when combined with charcoal produced from dead wood in the precise ratio, how foolish of us. It is not our place to share such valuable secrets, even with a friend. We only say with the resulting compound has the ability to increase the explosive power of fire sand. You look surprised. Why, mighty hunter, you should know best of all that ingenuity is the greatest byproduct of individuality. We can accomplish much by continuing to explore the world around us and creating our newfound knowledge with your kind. Excellent. Why would a hive mind ever develop language? What a fantastic question that is. You finally returned. Do you have our silver dew? Yes, right here. Oh, they are beautiful. Oh, on the other hand, appear much more disheveled than when we last spoke. Did you cross paths with our one-mind brothers? Their obsession with this herb is very concerning, great hunter. We fear they intend to wage war on the dragons with it. If we are correct, our one-mind brothers will not stop until the land is stripped of all silver dew. We can ill afford for this to happen. Were it to vanish, our guild would crumble to dust. Our sanctuary walls would soon follow. We must begin cultivating our own to prevent this from ever coming to pass. Of course. Welcome back, Great Hunter. Was your journey successful? Did you find herb sprouts? There you go. Yes, this will do nicely. Now, what did the fleshlings say to do? First, dry them with fire shards, like so. Then chop into fine pieces, and there, it is done. All that remains is delivery. Might I ask that you take them, their herbs? We think it better to receive packages from one who understands their smoke breathing. The order was from 2 hunters, Leopard and Grimold. They complained their shipments took much too long. They are always waiting. Please hurry. We fear they may grow irritable if they take too long. We smell fruit. Wonderfully ripe fruit. Yes, overripe, actually. the fragrant scent. It tells these plum trees are at their peak flavor. They will make for a fine batch indeed. This will take but a moment to prepare. Eric, please excuse us. All done. Now we must let it ferment. This will take time. Our restless friend over there, however, cannot wait so long. He says he is here to collect the wine we are to deliver the victory. It is a good thing we anticipated his arrival. Please take this bottle to him. Yes, well, this is pretty terrifying. I'm going to ignore it for the moment. I couldn't go a moment longer without it. So I've traveled all this way. My good sir, is it ready? Please tell me it's ready. Yes, here's some Calum tree wine for you. Ah, yes, there it is. The wine of all wines. There's another drink like it. The flavors, the sweetness, the acidity. The hint of some sort of exotic spice, perhaps. They play along the length of your tongue and trail into the pit of your stomach, leaving you warm and content. Yes, it's like honey. I wonder what it is exactly that lends the wine such a unique flavor. Whatever I ask, the Vath always seem hesitant to tell me. I suppose it is a silly question anyway. It's glaringly obvious it's good. Something can only be crafted with the finest of ingredients. Sure thing, honey. The wine is people. It's people. There is actually an alcohol in South America that I believe is produced through chewing some corn alcohol. Hey, if it tastes good, who cares how you get it, right? Good day to you, sir. What brings you to tail, fella? Here's some fogweeds. Fermenting kills all of the grossness. Exactly. Ah, the herbs I ordered in the Vath. What a welcome surprise. Goodness knows it's practically impossible to find anything like this out there. It's been a while since I've had anything to ease the nerves of the long days of Poland. Or perhaps... What are you selling? Okay, I need to set up my peeps. I know, Kitty. Yes, I love you too, man. Set my peeps up in the market here in a minute. Oh, man, my cat is so into this. What in the seven hells is taking them so long? Oh, hey there. You wouldn't happen to be coming from Los Vathas, would you? Actually, I am. Oh, you're a lifesaver. Truly. I was beginning to think they'd forgotten. Truth be told, their stock isn't very good, but beggars can't be choosers. The merchants who pass through here can easily charge 3 times as much for something only marginally better. All right, well, we took care of the great fog leaf for you. There are certainly coffees that are worse than the chewed apple wine. Welcome back, great hunter. Excuse us. We were curious of the smoke breathing and wish to try it. Learning new fleshling customs is usually helpful, but we are not so sure. Smoke is too smelly. Yes, much too smelly. It clings to clothing and shell and incites terrible coughing. Perhaps we use too much smoke. We are not sure. We must remember to warn hunters of terrible smell and coughing. All right. Getting the shaft. Take care of these 2 more, and then we'll continue on with our journeys. Hello, Kitty. Yes, I know. I love you too, buddy. Kitty says, I must have your love right now. You survey the area, no sign of the Malay. Sense a hostile presence. Got him. I do enjoy the dancer. The great hunter returns. Did you find melee? Did you find flexible, pliable, melee branches? Here you go. Branches from 2 melee, 1 would be plenty, but with 2, the fletchlings will be very pleased. These branches make great arrows for jungle hunting. Also, fletchlings say they seem to enjoy making arrows. Yes, many arrows. For the left, Nunca eggs always have great value. They are delicacy, a fine, tasty treat. We offer them to Hunter, but they say our eggs are putrid. Such strange fleshlings they are. Yes, very strange. Oh man, we got more. How strange, you fleshlings. We talk with you, we trade with you, yet we do not understand. Why do you love this thing called wine so much? It dulls the senses. We do not like this. Why, you ask? The convictory once requested we procure a crate of wine. We knew not where to find it, so we made our own, improvising as necessary, with special ingredients. They are insatiable. The orders come, and though we work hard, we cannot meet demands. We run low on supplies. Great Hunter, please help us. Your generosity knows no bounds. The key ingredient for our wine is a callum tree fruit, a juicy fruit found in the chocobo forest. Please bring back 3. The best fruits lie on the forest floors. They are the most ripe. Ripe, yes, that's the word. Adventurer, our guild's silver dew is popular. So popular. Demand grows daily, and stores grow thin. Soon we will not have enough to light our censers, let alone send to the convictors. This worry has spurred us to cultivate our own. The fleshlings of Tailfeather have helped us to do so, but our plants are lacking the most vital property, the scent which drives the dragons away. If our incense is ineffective, our reputation will suffer. All our silverdew must be tested. This must be done. Mighty Hunter, please take these bundles and evaluate their quality for us. The best test subjects are dragons. There are many in the smoldering wastes. If you find one, use the kagamatu to spray with our silver dew. Please be sure to repeat this 3 times. If they are repelled by the smell, we will know our customers will be satisfied. The kin tamer can help you load a kagamoto with your silver dew, should you need to go and speak with him. Beth Kenai has a rather hairy task for you to tackle. Your fleshling skin and warm blood makes you strength to the ice and snow, whereas our shells do little to stave off the cold. Yes, to such climates fleshlings are well suited, but in Corthus, even your kind must wrap themselves in furs. Yes, the convictors ever need warm pelts, yet we do not know which beasts are best suited for this purpose. If you would provide will even suffice. We will have enlisted Grimbold's help. We will split the reward. However, he requires assistance. Great Hunter, please go to him. All right. Surely we're getting close to reputation up again with these people. Okay, yeah, we're pretty close, actually. Troubling news. Very troubling. Much of our crop is substandard. We hope this bundle is not. There, this Kokomoto is ready. She is now equipped with silver dew. Please bring back good news, Hunter. Alright. And the wyvern. Where is the wyvern? Alright, I'm heading in the right direction. Alright, well, Cat has worked himself into a frenzy, and now he's fighting everything. Well, go fight stuff. I'm not helping you. You fight on your own. I don't want to fight. Hi, kitty. Yes, I love you. Have fun fighting your battles with whatever it is you're imagining you're fighting. He says, oh, I'm so frisky. I'm not really going slow, but it feels like I'm going really slow. Uh-oh. Is he up here? He is up here. Wasteland Wyvern. What is this? The smell is unbearable. Don't mind us, we're just tormenting some poor dragon. How dare you spray that offensive smoke in my face a second time? It would be hours before my eyes stop watering and I can rid myself of this rancid taste. We're just trying to provoke a dragon. What? Fight me, you coward. Look, kitty, I love you. I don't want to fight you right now. I really don't want to fight you ever, truth be told. And then you want to play. That shall not be forgotten. Unless you do so again, you won't. I will tear you apart. Well, seems to have worked. You definitely pissed off the dragon. That was the goal, right? Silverdew is effective at driving off dragons. That is very reassuring to hear. We will include it in today's shipment. While the supply of Silverdew we cultivate is meager, we hope one day to grow enough to fill all our commissions. We think that things will go more smoothly than the time we tried to plant our own tasty greens. We should have realized sooner that was not a good idea. The delightfully crunchy plant is too delicious for us to resist. Yeah. Dang it, wrong button. That is a problem when you plant something that's delicious. Keeping from eating it early. Meanwhile, my cat's writhing around saying, "Let's play! Let's play!" That's the thing, kitty. I am playing. I'm playing my own game. And this game is not Attack the Hand. I know, I'm not fun. I'm going to speak to Grimwald. Okay, well, speaking of Grimwald, it's going to take too long, so let's just run and grab this on the way to speaking of Grimwald. There's a way to grab down there. We smell fruit. Wonderfully ripe fruit. The fragrance and it tells us these palm fruits were at their peak flavor. They'll make a fine batch indeed. This will take but a moment to prepare. Please excuse us. All done. Now, we must let it ferment. This will take time. Our restless friend over there, however, cannot wait so long. He says he's here to collect the wine we were to deliver to the convictory. It is a good thing we anticipated his arrival. Please, take this bottle to him. I couldn't go a moment longer without it, so I traveled all this way, my good sir. Is it ready? Please tell me it is ready. Ah, there it is, the wine of all wines. There isn't another drink like it. The flavors, the sweetness, the acidity, the hint of some sort of exotic spice, perhaps. They play across the length of your tongue and trail into the pit of your stomach, leaving you warm and content. I wonder what exactly it could be that lends this wine such a unique flavor. Whenever I ask, the vat always seem hesitant to tell me. I suppose it's a silly question anyway. It's glaringly obvious something this good could only be crafted with the finest of ingredients. Alright, let's go check out Grimwald, and we'll continue on with our mission. Ah, so the buggers had enough common sense to send me someone with hands instead of claws. Oh, what a relief. Between the two of us, I reckon we should be able to finish this quickly. Now, in these parts, the only beast with a hide thick enough to withstand Corthan climates is the Bandersnatch. Luckily for us, I know how to catch one. Here, take these scraps of meat. As soon as you lay them out, the beast should catch the scent. We'll have to be at the Bandersnatches. You'll have all the Bandersnatches you could ask for before you can count to 3. I'll stand here and see the more mundane preparations once you've finished. I imagine you're eager as I am to get this over with. So I'll let you be on your way. Off we go to the wild blue yonder. I mean, I could kill my own bandersnatches, but I suppose I have to do the correct ones. Sense a hostile presence. Okay, that's first. Got him. While I'm here, I'm going to pick the Chocobo as a dance partner. Apparently I have to do that at the beginning of the dance. Oh, well, whatever. Fleshling lures us with a sweet scent of blood. Unforgivable. Got him? Got him. Oh, you're back already. What did that scratch on you? So do tell, have you got anything to show for it? We have 2 bandersnitch pelts. I mean to say you could have brought back 3, but a starved naff beat your bandersnatch to the bait. It's about a good thing I left the hunting to you, eh? A hungry bandersnatch is one thing, a ravenous naff is quite another. The laugh, the naff, can't for the life of me tell the two apart. Thinking he's a friendly face, I'd have approached him from myself. Hell's bells, what a pathetic way to go. Well, I'll take the things from here. If you could set the pelts over there, I'll make sure they're processed and well delivered them to the victory myself. Oh, and before I forget, here's your half of the payment. You'll finally return. How was the hunt?
After smelling juicy flesh, one of the One Mind made an appearance and threatened you. How terrifying. But more than that, we are glad we did not send one of our brothers to this task. He may have eaten everything up before the traps were even baited. Rebel quest complete. Oh man, we're so close. Oh well. Next time we come back, we should get this taken care of. Let's go to the Gigi situation. Hildebrand.
Verily, shall we scour all creation, from the deepest pits of the seven hells to the very pinnacle of the heavens, for the answers that we seek. Each day shall be filled with grand adventures, the stuff of fairy tales and legends.
Huzzah, great adventure in the deepest pit of the seven hells.
Just so. Such is the creed of Hildebrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire.
Oh my gosh. Got him doing it now.
Well posed, Gigi, well posed. I dare say you have the potential to be an exemplary inspector someday.
Right, that's enough of that. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Supreme Sacred Tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory Doctrine, I hereby command you to surrender this mammoth of suspected heretical origin into my custody. Gotta go, have a good one. Yes, thank you, see you, sir.
Why, hello there, Pieter. An inquisitor. Here, ever the jester, accusing poor Gigi of being a clockwork heretic. And 'tis plain to see he's merely a precocious young lad.
Oh, there you go again, confusing the poor girl, as if these big, beautiful, boxy eyes aren't the soul of femininity.
Nashu, please, were you not witness to the magnificent display of Manavillian masculinity mere moments ago?
'Tis cause you haven't taught her any better. She needs a proper role model to show her what's what.
Heh.
Oh. Master Krolinsk, Inspector Seer, what's all this commotion? We can hear you from the courtyard. Oh, Lord Edmund, my sincere apologies for the disturbance. I've come to seize this mammoth on behalf of the Inquisition, a fact that clearly explained to the Inspector before you arrived. At which point they set to bickering about the contraption's gender.
What say you, my lord? Do you think Gigi is a boy or a girl?
Oh, 'tis clearly a strapping lad, no? Oh, here he take me, not you too. Has the whole world gone mad? Fine, fine. But even supposing this Gigi is a real boy, you cannot deny that the circumstances of his discovery and miraculous resuscitation were most unusual. He cannot be suffered to roam the city with impunity until the Inquisitor in the Inquisition has determined he is not a threat. I beg your pardon? Miraculous resuscitation. Yes, actually, we found them deep in the snow. I say, then until such time as Gigi recovers his memory,
Mayhaps it would be best if you adopted him as a ward of House Mandeville. I will even stand as witness here and now, if you wish. Huh? Adopt? Then that would make me Gigi's father. And doubtless the Inquisition would think better of taking any action which might threaten the cordial relationship between our two houses. Yes, of course. I'll do it. Hildebrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, do hereby grant this child the patronage of House Mandeville.
Yay, Papa Hildy.
Oh, the inspector's finally become a father. Oh, it's so beautiful. Quite. Now that you've no need to... now that you need no further fear... Now that you need no longer fear the Inquisition, you are free to show Gigi more of our fair city. Indeed, I strongly encourage you to do so. Mayhap by the grace of the Fury, something might jog his memory.
Thank you, Lord Edmund. I shall not forget this kindness. Come, my faithful assistant. Ah, my beloved son. We must away.
Oh, Halon, I would not presume to question your grand design, but... oh, confound it all. Well, mayhap I cannot detain the mammoth, but I will still be within my rights to observe the blasted thing. Lord Godward will be pleased to hear that his son is as hale and healthy as ever. Not that I would ever presume to meddle in another father's behalf, and certainly would not consent. Uh-oh. That was the wrong move.
Come now, Gigi. Surely gazing upon this wondrous work of Ishgardianish architecture stirs something within your soul. This grand manor of House Durin Melisbasbasapart.
Pray do not fill the mammoth's head with such nonsense. That is the supreme sacred tribunal of Hellenic Inquisitory doctrine. I should know, I work there. Furthermore, I'm quite certain that there's no House Durin Melisbasapart, and there's rather a ludicrous portmanteau of 4 great high houses, including that esteemed house which but recently stood a witness to your adoption.
Well, Gigi, do you remember anything?
No, nothing.
I say, rather than pardoning or parading him before the grandiose, why not give him a taste of something more prosaic? Let us make our way to the holy stables, that he might bask in the singular sights, sounds, and smells of Ishgard's most famous chocobos.
Oh. Oh, there's something over here, too. Alright, well, let's check this out. We're just letting the game play out organically. Briardian. Ah, it isn't my most trusted associate back from the field. As you will doubtless have seen for yourself, change is sweeping throughout Ishgard, and the veil which once threatened to smother the hearts and minds of our people is slowly but surely being lifted. It is as if our fair city has been born anew, and it is in large part thanks to you. Which is not to say our problems have come to an end. No, the silent struggle between the lowborn and highborn goes on, growing more fractious by day. I have come to believe that someone, somewhere, is fanning the flames of hatred to further their own ends, and I am convinced now more than ever that Ula's sudden disappearance, along with that of Volume 11 of the Articles of Heroic Polity, is no mere coincidence. Both she and it, after all, were passionate advocates of equality among men. As to who is responsible and what their true intentions might be, I cannot say. Ascertaining these things will no doubt require that we first find the missing girl, and as of this moment, our best hope of learning her whereabouts may rest in discovering the fate of the book. As such, I shall continue searching for any clue which might lead us to the missing tome. In the meantime, I ask that you trouble the students for any information that they might have on Ula. Failing that, find out if they have any witness to any unusual occurrences around the Scholasticate. Anything at all. Well then, let us be about it. Of course. Welcome back, Pieter. Pray allow me to show you inside. Yeah, let's enter the Scholasticate. Oh, shit. The only really unexpected change I've seen of late is of Leia's attitude toward Cromwell. He really seems to have warmed up to him. Why, he even went so far as to initiate a conversation the other day. He spoke to me, 'tis true, but 'twas not out of fondness. He merely hates me very slightly less than he values Ula's safe return. One of the seniors told me she'd been diagnosed with something called lung rot, and that she's too weak to attend any of her classes. Thinking back, I did hear her coughing from time to time, but I had no idea it was anything so serious. The lessons of Volume 11 seemed to resonate deeply with Ula. She would oft stay up small hours, reading and rereading them. Perhaps they spurred her to steal away in the night and take up with the revolutionaries. Oh, how many times must I say this? Ula was not coerced into leaving, nor was she abducted, nor did she leave from a fictitious disease. She quit. She quit the Scholasticate of her own free will, for reasons known only to her and the Fury. Really, is it so difficult to understand? Blase has been so distracted lately. I'm lucky if I can get a simple good morning from her. Ever since Ula left, she's been rushing about the city like a madwoman, looking for any information she can get on the girl, that she might have an excuse to talk to Themosent. Welcome back, Master Krolins. What a pleasant surprise it is to see you. How might I be of service to you today? I'm looking for this girl. Themosent. Ah! In the wake of Ula's withdrawal, he and Lee have devoted every waking moment to the task of uncovering her whereabouts. They're quite adamant that the girl must be found and persuaded to resume her studies here. As a matter of fact, they approached me earlier today to beg leave to travel to Goganj Mills, claiming that a trip there would yield the information they needed to accomplish their aim. No sooner had I granted their request than they rushed off. Oh, such compassion and eagerness to serve others is a rarity, even amongst the clergy. I cannot tell you how proud I am of what fine young men they've become. All right. Alright, well, let's go this a ways then. Clearly we need a perch stop here. Okay, we've prayed, we looked out. What else is there to do here? Oh, what are you doing over there, cat? What else might I want to do here? I don't know. Does not look out. Okay. Yep, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do there. Oh well. What the heck is this? My cat was playing with something. I don't know what. But he was having a lot of fun. I started to take it away from him, but it doesn't look like anything important. So, yeah, go ahead and play with it, cat, if that's what you want to do. I'm trying to get myself some coffee while I'm flying. This is such a long trip. Here, huh? Okay, that'll work. Grab some more coffee and we'll continue. Trying to multitask when I have boring missions. Things like flying off in the sunset. Alright. Here, kitty. I give you a couple pieces of food and walk off with your rest of it. Alright. What's up, Themocent? Or Theocent, or whatever. Peter, is it really you? That we should be reunited that we should be reunited, thus, amidst the snowy peaks of Corthus is, why, it's nothing short of a miracle. I sense the hand of the divine at work. Halon has answered our prayers. Theo, Pietro has no idea what you're talking about, and by all means explain, but do it slowly and from the beginning. My apologies. Excitement got the better of me. Peter, this is the resting place of Father Crousseau, a man who found room in his heart for two waifs out from the street, granting them the opportunity to rise above their station in life. Do you perchance recall the book that was stolen from Theo and burned by that last soul who once thought of as a brother? It was one of those last mementos we had of the man. Now all that's left to remind us of him is this place. Indeed. While we often came here to seek solace and guidance in the blessed presence, today our purpose is far more practical. With our search for Ula in the impasse, we hoped he might grant us inspiration. Which is why I believe our meeting with you here in this hour of need is a sign from above, mayhap the work of Father Crusoe himself. I take it from that face that this was not meant to bear this burden alone, that the obstacles we face can only be surmounted by working in concert with others. Ula's disappearance has thrown the Scholasticate into turmoil, and the long-simmering mistrust between those of noble and ignoble birth has boiled over into outright hatred. Now, more than ever, we must seek to join hands with like-minded souls who understand that this malice will only sow further discord. Like-minded souls such as you. I'm reminded of the words of Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. We must strive to love our neighbor, even as we love ourselves, just as Helone does. To do so otherwise would be to defy her will. Yes, and while we'll surely be rewarded for our toleration, the highborn bastards who will sooner pretend that passage doesn't exist won't be so lucky. Why, they may even find themselves on the receiving end of her spear for everything they've put us through. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? We still haven't found a single clue as to Ula's whereabouts. Fear not, Lee. With Pieter at our side, I have faith we shall find her, and that we should soon retake her rightful place in the hallowed halls of St. Elem's Scholasticate. I hope you're right. At any rate, we've done what we can do, so there's no point freezing our asses off out here. Until we meet again, Pieter. All right. Well, seems like there's nothing else going on here. So back to Foundation, I guess. Let's take care of this while we're here. Look at the stables with Hildebrand and Gigi.
Splendid specimens of horse-bird flesh, would you not agree? In the hands of a skilled jockey, any one of them could take first place at the saucer.
These chocobos are the pride of the Asgardian cavalry, and any temple knight who dared exploit them for personal gain would answer to the Fury herself. How about now, Gigi? Do you remember anything about Ishgard? Be sure to sniff the chocobos. It might help.
It didn't.
You know, just because you found him in the Corinthian snowbank, it doesn't mean he hails from Ishgard.
Which is why we ought to try taking him to the markets, and exposing him to all manner of goods from across Eorzea. Excellent suggestion, Inquisitor.
Wait, am I now complicit in this farce? Oh, Fury, forgive me. You're doing great. Oh. But I want one. Buy me a chocobo, please, Father. Father, that strange-looking thing is staring at us.
Geep, 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 geep.
Am I that strange-looking? right. Pretty sure up here is where the end of that one mission is. Doing missions concurrently. Pray keep your voice down inside the Scholasticate. Yes, I'd love to enter the Scholasticate. Master Crolins, can I trust you're able to find Thamosant and Lee? Yes, I did. I see, yes, the two of them have always shared a special bond with Father Trousseau, one that only seems to have grown stronger with his passing. It is encouraging to see that they have taken their lessons to heart, and continue to work so fervently for the good of their fellow students. I fear, however, that a dark and treacherous path lies before them. I only pray that when the time comes, they are ready for whatever challenges await. Father Saturno is wearing a troubled frown. Master Crolins, just the man I was hoping to see. I am sorry to say that a rather disturbing rumor has been circulating around the Scholasticate of late. One that claims the Archibald arranged for Ulan to be taken away. That the boy scorns those who favor different interpretations of the scriptures, I do not deny, but I labor to believe he would go so far. To engage in such conduct would risk not only his own position as prefect, but the very high honor of Das Houses of Mayo, both of which mean a great deal to him. Regretfully, no one seems to know whence these ridiculous rumors came. They could have been concocted by anyone, and for any number of reasons. In any event, with so many out, and you hitting the button, I have no idea what I was about to say. At any rate, I fear others may decide they no longer wish to remain at the Scholasticate, and so I'd be most grateful if you would consent to investigate this matter. Should you oblige my request, I suggest you begin by speaking with the Lebrosor. I am told he has spent the past few days looking into Ulan's activities prior to her departure, likely with the intent to absolve Ashman of suspicion. Alright. School of Scholasticate. Or, I guess from the Scholasticate. To from, what's the difference? To the Corsair for more Hildebrand knowledge. Why bother? It is no use.
Now, Gigi, you must not give in to despair so easily. Did I not promise you days filled with grand adventures, and the eventual discovery of your mislaid memories? Spirits, Gigi, spirits.
Oh no.
Ah. My word. A vase flung to the ground with reckless abandon. Could this be the opening salvo of an indiscriminate campaign of vandalism?
One waged by your wild gesticulations, perhaps. At least look before you strike a pose. The gods only know how much that vase cost. 123,504,000 gil at last assessment. 'Twas over 700 years old and graced the homes of a dozen archbishops, 8 counts, 2 lord commanders, and 1 duke. 100 million gil? Oh, Halone, why have you forsaken me? You gonna fix it? Oh. Well, would you look at that? What?
Ha ha! Ha ha!
It's a miracle. A divine intervention of the Fury herself.
Did I do that? Gigi, my boy, that was marvelous. You're born autism, just like my father.
Papa Hildy's papa? Your grandpapa, Godbert, the man who woke you with a few gentle taps to the noggin. Oh, you wouldn't believe what else you could do with that hammer of his. Why, some folks say he wields the very powers of life and death. Once he and the missus come back from their tour of the Western Highlands, I'm sure they'd love to see that trick of yours. Do not demean this mammoth's powers a mere parlor trick. We just witnessed a miracle, and I demand that we all acknowledge it. This mammoth. Sir, I say, sir, 100 million gil for the mammoth. Nay, 100 million gil and the Duke's priceless vase.
My word, this is what passes for trade in Ishgard. Gigi is my flesh and blood. I would not sell him at any price.
Please, Papa Hildy, no more. I know you mean well, but we can only deny the truth no longer. I am a mammoth.
Gigi, whatever's gotten into you, you're my son. You're a Mandeville man.
Listen to your papa, Gigi. You're a Mandeville girl through and through. Stop it, both of you. You're not my papa or my mama.
Well, it is only to be expected. Gigi is at the rebellious age. Strange as it may sound, I too tested my parents' patience, and that on more than one occasion. But if they could weather the storm, then so can I.
I say we find out what's gotten him thinking he's a mammoth. But he is a mammoth. How can you not... Oh, never mind.
Of course, fatherhood never did run smooth, but I, Hildebrand, guardian of Gigi, doting parent extraordinaire, shall find a way to overcome this trial and be reconciled with my beloved son.
That's the spirit. Making a simple case for childhood rebellion should be easy for a man who has unmasked thieves, defeated duelists, and led armies of the undead. Yes, that's all very... Wait, what was that about the undead? Actually, don't tell me. For now, all that matters is finding that mammoth. We should begin by speaking with the sentries stationed at the city gates and the airship landing. If, by Fury help us, he has left Ishgard, we need to know about it sooner rather than later. I will visit the Ark of the Worthy, while the inspector and his assistant head to the airship landing. You can question the guard at the gate near the manufactory, after which we will regroup there and share our findings. Dismissed. Done. All right. Now I gotta go searching
in that common area.
At the pillars.
Not down, it's up somewhere. But where? I don't know where I'm looking for. Perhaps the laboratoire? Laboratoire? Whatever.
Let me guess, you caught wind of the rumors and thought you'd come and investigate, yes?
Look, well, I have nothing. I'll have you know that Archibald is innocent. He has nothing, absolutely nothing to do with any of this nonsense. I've known him since childhood. While he might occasionally seem somewhat high-handed, perhaps even callous, he would never do anything to harm anyone. If that is not enough, there's also the fact that the days and weeks prior to Ular's disappearance, I was not out of his company for more than a few moments. He cannot possibly have committed the crime of which he's being accused without my knowledge. Whoever orchestrated all this clearly planned for the blame to fall squarely on his shoulders. That much is certain. Yet numerous as the enemies of House Zamael are, I struggle to think who would resort to something so underhanded. Unless it was the girl herself. Don't you see? What better way to besmirch the good name of one of Ishgard's foremost houses and win over your peers than to vanish and later spread rumors that he was somehow responsible, and to go and plant... That is to say... Oh, by the Fury, I pray I'm not making a mistake. But first, I would have you swear to tell no one but the Inspector what I'm about to reveal. Go. What is it I'm looking at in my hand? I stumbled across this. Volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity. It has been conspicuously placed in Archibald's dormitory room, with Ular's favorite bookmark tucked between its pages. I need hardly tell you what would happen if people were to learn of this. Tis but a mercy that I chanced upon it, and not one of the more credulous. However, now that we have deduced who the perpetrator is, it should be simple enough to restore Archibald's reputation. All we need to do is prove that she and her revolutionary friends are responsible. Were I a braver, more foolish man, I would march down to the broom and demand answers, but you, a hero blessed with the strength of 100, need not fear for your well-being there as I do. You are our only help. Please, I beg you, take the book and use it to find the girl and prove those foul rumors false. Well, indeed, I thank you. Let's see, there's something over this way also. Oh, we're delivering it back, huh? I can do that. Here you go, Brereton. Ah, Pietro, you returned. Please tell me your inquiries have been more fruitful than mine own. I found the book. This is the missing volume. However, did you find it? Yeah, his friend gave it to me. that the Brossoir believes that Ula and her other revolutionary friends planted it in Wassan's room as part of an elaborate scheme to defame House Zanel. I continue to be amazed at what ridiculous conspiracies his children convince themselves are true. As if the future of Ishgardian society shall be shaped by the actions of a few ambitious seminarians. Anyway, I shall allow that she may have been consorting with members who supported Reformation. And were she persuaded to engage in rebellious acts, the dormitory prefect would have been an ideal target. Alternatively, Algernon is so arrogant and careless he might have thought of nothing of leaving incriminating evidence in plain sight. He would hardly have used the first. Needless to say, speculation will avail us not at this juncture. First I must see what I can learn from this book. In the meantime, I would have you go and speak with the people of the Broom. See what they know, if anything, about Ula, where she might have gone, whom she might have visited, and so forth. Failing that, keep your ears open for news and unusual happenings. One can never be too well informed. Help, I'm too well informed. Boy, burdened with glorious knowledge. Goodness, there's... lots of stuff around here. That's the wrong way. Aha, there's one right there. That's what I was trying to find. What's up, Gordon? You're not about to ask me to do you a favor, are you? You'll forgive me for being suspicious, but just the other day a man draped from head to toe in fine silks approached me, all nervous and twitching. He tossed a purse in my feet, saying that Gil in it for mine was a taking. All I had to do was head to Crozier and buy him a couple phials of cough syrup. Tempting as it was, I wasn't about to risk getting involved in someone's shady schemes, so I told him to piss off, and that was that. This song is named Solid, and it is very well named. Leave me be, I got nothing to say to the likes of you. Oh, what was that? Do you think I might help kidnap some highborn girl? God's sakes, you and them, I sense, make a fine pair, you do. Acting all high and mighty, pretending you care, but the only time you come around is when you're looking for someone to blame. Sorry to disappoint you. I got nothing to do with this Ulal's disappearance. If you ask me, you better look harassing those blue bloods of the pillars. After all, they know better than anyone else how to deal with these inconveniences, eh? This music is so amazing. I distinctly recall telling one of my patrons appreciate their privacy. Still, I wouldn't ask if you... I know you wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. So this time I'll oblige your curiosity. This hasn't got anything to do with this missing girl, mind, but a few days back, one fellow comes and pays his tab in full. A surprising development, as I'd long since written it off as a loss. Came into money, he says, with a mind to settle his debts. Pleased as I am by his change in fortunes, all the while I'm wondering who he left it bleeding in an alley to get that much kill at once. Sounds like a problem, actually. What's up here, Wart? The little fellow with a wide-brimmed hat, I came through here, bought passage to a supply ship bound to a falcon's nest. One of them was what's named, well, Lullafels, right? Funny little buggers. Seemed keen to be anywhere but here. Well, if Gigi left the city, it's not by the main gates. It was not by the main gates.
And the sentries of the airship landing have seen no one matching his description.
Actually, this guy right here said that he was this way. Falcon's Nest, if you only take me, must we return to that freezing pit of despair?
Wherever so Gigi goes, I shall follow him, and find him, and embrace him as my son once more. However, I surmise our final destination lies far beyond the walls of said outpost. Indeed, there's but one reason he would return to those frozen wastes: to frolic in the snow and cast his worries to the winds.
Really? He seemed to be in no mood to frolic when I last saw him. As I recall, he used his arcane powers to mend a vase, only to become morose and belligerent when it came clear to him that he was, in fact, a Mammoth. One might even say he remembered what he was, remembering his purpose, and so he returned to Western Corthus, that famous breeding ground for heresy, where first we found him.
Home to his heretic masters, to share with them the intelligence he had gathered in the city. At long last, the undeniable, unquestionable, unmistakable scent of heresy.
Well, what are we standing around for? We have a heretic to catch. Inspector, I'm starting to think Inspector Sia might not think very highly of that little girl.
'Tis possible, but I would not presume to know his feelings or his voice them explicitly. Until such time as he does, we should endeavor to serendipitously bring him round to the opinion that Gigi is a boy of pure heart and good intent. Subtlety in all things Nashu, that is the Mandeville way.
Yes, subtlety. Subtlety is definitely how you guys do things. We didn't get a silly pose? Nope. All right.
Subtlety. The only way Mandeville man does things is through subtlety.
Strikes a pose. Listen, Kitty, I love you too, man, but you were just way too into this all the time. Excellent timing, Pietro. I have findings to share. While Ula's bookmark suggests that Volume 11 was within her possession at some point, it does not tell us when that point may have been. With that in mind, I have decided to pay a visit to the seminary library. Sure enough, her signature was in the logs, indicating that she was the last person to have borrowed the tome. I compared the handwriting to samples of her old assignments, to be sure, and found no irregularities. One might argue that this supports Labrosier's theory, but it is far from conclusive evidence. I suppose you cannot use those vaunted powers of yours to grant us a version of the past and spare us further hardship. No, not quite. I thought not. Then we shall rely on the more traditional methods. So, what came of your inquiries to the broom? Do tell. None of them knew anything. The guy in the inn said someone had gotten a lot of money suddenly. Nothing. But that is to be expected, is it not? Again, I'm reminded how ridiculous the two scenarios presented to us, purporting grand conspiracies, truly are. Isn't it more likely that both the girl and the Ashramoltan are innocent of wrongdoing? We must continue searching for more clues, even the most insignificant tidbit. Maybe all it takes for the pieces of this puzzle to fall into place. Seeing how reluctant some of the citizens were to answer your questions, I believe it best for me to take over investigations in the broom. As for you, yes, I've been given to understand that Braze and her friends have been conducting their own investigations. Though I'm loath to admit it, given the fact that they are seminaries, I should not be surprised if they had noticed something we overlooked. We may as well go and see what Blaze has learned. If you cannot find her in the Scholasticate, I imagine someone can point you in the right direction.
Pray keep your voice down inside the scholastic.
Of course.
Oh, what with them both working to bring the law back, Thamosant and Blaze have good reason to spend a great deal of time together. These past few days, they've been running around the city making inquiries. I wouldn't be surprised if that is what they're up to today. Hasn't she been following Thamosant about like a lost puppy this past fortnight? Find him, and you'll probably find her, that's what I say. I don't know how he puts up with it, frankly. I suppose that unlike some of the seniors, he's simply too kind for his own good. What? Oh, that is a question, too. I, too, would like to know the answer to it. It feels as though we haven't spoken in ages. I did, however, overhear some of the other seminaries say that they saw Thamosant at the Ark of the Vulnerable. If so, Blaze is certain to be close by. Blaze, I haven't seen her all day. I suspect she's gone out again with her friends to look for Ular. I still don't understand why they bother. The girl's probably off gallivanting with the heretics and revolutionaries. Even if they were to find her, I doubt she'll want to return. If you and the inspector managed to deduce anything from the book yet, pray praise me for your progress when you're able. Of course I don't know where she is, though I may be in charge of the dormitory. It is not my responsibility to hold the seminary's hands or wipe their arses. As you should well know, in light of recent events, Usher Mullen is not the luxury to concern herself with such trivialities. Surely they said himself? Oh well. Time to speak to Blaze and the pillars. You startled me. I'm here for Ular's sake, lest you wonder. This is all part of my investigation, I swear. Really? Wait, you're not a seminarian. You seem so familiar. Oh, I know, you're my brother's associate. By brother, do you mean... My apologies, Master Peter. I suppose we have yet to be properly introduced. I'm Blaze, Breredan's younger sister. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. So I sent you to see what I've learned. Then I'm afraid you'll be disappointed. I spent all morning questioning merchants, watchmen, and random passers-by, and they told me absolutely nothing of interest. I've recorded their statements for good measure, but quite honestly, it was a waste of ink and paper. Blaze, what are you doing here? I fancy meeting you here. I was just taking a moment to review those testimonies I had taken and thought to, but of course, you then thought to come and share your findings with us. Yes, that's it. While it might be a bit much, I wanted to make sure I did not omit a single word. Well, Fury Blaze, this is over 100 forms long. I cannot even begin to imagine the amount of effort it took to organize all this information. It's incredibly heartening to know that there are others as dedicated as us to seeing Ular return. Now, let's have a look, shall we? Investigations log entry 1. Master of Ishgardian Markets, Mistress Elay's problems? Well, this recent run of bad weather, we've had plenty. Why, just the other day, my back started to give me trouble again, and I've had to hobble from place to place. Investigation log entry 2. House 4 temp steward. The first. Cannot guarantee that this news will be of greatest interest to you and yours, but a 12-point proposal for the reformation of the Inquisition has recently been tabled by Lord Artois in the House of Lords. Oh, yes, this is all very interesting. Investigation log entry 10. Weaponsmith Elber. Ever since the Blue Bastion and his lapdog put an end to the war, profits have plummeted. I've had to set my best stock for a fraction of its worth just to make ends meet. Investigation log entry 21. Tavernier Muscle. I have recently, as I barely enough time to fill my customers' orders, much as keep an eye out for foolish. Close time it, Theo. That's enough. None of that rubbish is even remotely relevant. Now, don't you think you're being a touch too hasty? We've not gotten even a third of the way through. We may yet learn something of value. Let's not dismiss Blaze's hard work out of hand. Thank you, Theo, for your kind words. I'm glad you think it may be of use. Fine, let us briefly entertain this thought and say that something in these notes will help us find Ullah. How exactly do you propose we determine what that is? Lee, we didn't do a thing. For though we may lack the skill to discern the relevant from the mundane, a certain inspector we know and love is a dab hand at such things now. But of course, Inspector Brereton. Excellent idea, Kummerbaugh. Pieter, if you would, take this scroll to him and see what he can make of it. Boh. Of course. I don't even he could make heads or tails of this rubbish. In any event, it is out of our hands. We should continue with our search. Well, we're making some progress. If nothing else, we have lots of assistants working with us. This is probably all we're going to be doing today, is conducting this investigation. We meet again. Doubtless you have much to share. I know I do. Do you recall Galabron's patron, who recently paid off his debts and the gentleman attempting to obtain cough syrups? Upon further investigation, it turns out that they share one astonishingly similar facial feature, a pale raised scar running from the top of their left cheekbone to their jaw. It just so happens this description also matches that of a notorious thug who was known to hang around outside taverns and harass patrons for coin, until an unexpected windfall saw his fortunes vastly improve. He is now rumored to make a living as a traveling merchant, though where he goes and what he sells none can say. We shall find out that in due time. But enough of my discoveries. What have you learned? Here's notes from your sister. By the Fury, this is longer than some scriptures. And she compiles it all in less than a single day, you say. How remarkable. Yes. Investigation log entry 1, Master Vishgardian Marshowitz, Mistress Ilay's problems. Well, with this recent run of bad weather, we've had plenty. Why, just the other day, my back started to give me trouble again, and I've had to hobble from place to place. On the other hand, the Crozier has been increasing trading in oils, furs, and other goods. Folk begin to crave when it grows cold, so in that regard, I cannot complain. Investigation log 13, purvey of sundries, Passadaic the other day. There's a one fellow who wanted to purchase robes for a young woman, a merchant, he said, but I've never known one who couldn't be bothered to haggle. Not that I minded, of course. Investigation log 21. Carvery Muscle. I have barely enough time to fill my customers' orders, much less keep an eye out for foolish girls getting themselves into trouble. Now, if you'll excuse me, I really must be getting back to it. I'm expecting several regular customers any minute. Investigation log number 47. Apothecary Pierre Montardon has brought my own whole stock of cough syrup every day for the past week. Passing strange, needless to say, so I followed him and found that he was reselling my products to another. The nerve of some people, I tell you. gentleman procuring cough medicines through a third party. That story has a familiar ring to it, does it not? A man with questionable past, recently come to wealth, and playing at being a merchant, which just so happens to travel with a young girl prone to fits of coughing. Are you thinking what I'm thinking, Pieter?
I think so, Brain.
Medicines keeps us bien we must watch. No. Perhaps not. It seems to me that Master appears to be colluding with our man. In time you may come to understand how I reached this conclusion. But first, you must pay a visit to his stall. Given how poorly this man has covered his tracks, I'm inclined to believe that he will come to the Crozier sooner rather than later to procure the usual assortment of goods. Let us head there, Pieter. We must follow the trail where it is still fresh. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Follow the cough syrup. Cough syrup will lead us to the girl, and then we will have the girl. If he comes this way to procure food and medicines from Mostonau as frequently as Blair's notes indicate, we shouldn't have long. Pieter, over there, that scar, those robes. That's our man. Pleasure to see you again, sir. The usual. Aye, don't forget the you-know-what. Hurry, Pieter. We must not let him out of our sight. So I'm trying to figure out why it said I was wrong, since that's exactly what I said to do. Unless it gave the wrong name for some reason on the cough medicine. Our suspect just passed through the Ark of the Worthy, where there are like to be fewer people. Take care not to be spotted. Crossing the steps, sir. It would appear our suspect is not alone. He has a guard with him. I should very much like to know the contents of that carriage. Keep them distracted while I sneak past, would you? Approach them and announce you are here to conduct a surprise inspection. You will undoubtedly command their full attention for a sufficient amount of time. Are you ready, Pieter? Very good. I must say, you yourself are a machine to enter the phrase containing the word inspection to draw the merchant and his guard's attention. Time to get this inspection over with. Inspection? What in the seven hells are you on about? You're no temple knight. You've no right. Unless... Trust the goods have been properly secured and the carriage is ready for a quick getaway if necessary. Right then, where were we? Oh, yes, we are not consenting to your inspection, so now kindly get off. Damn it, boy, what are you doing? My apologies, sir. I thought I saw movement around the back. Maybe I should go and check. Idiot, can't you see this goon is intent on starting a fight? Take care of him first and conduct our checks after. As for you, you should have run while you still had the chance. You guys ever watched a dancer dance? You're about to. Up close in person. I suspect you won't enjoy it as much as you think. Subdued the fake merchant and his god. Guard, not his god. His god is fine. Pieter, it was as we suspected. The thug and his guard have been holding the hula hostage in the back of this carriage ever since she vanished. Though this ordeal has undoubtedly caused her a deal of distress, she does not appear to be physically injured. While you're doubtless eager to question her, as I am, she must be given time to rest and recuperate. These two, on the other hand, need not be afforded any such consideration. You there, what is the meaning of this? It seems all the early commotion has drawn the attention of the guards. Excellent. They can deal with the ruffians. Yes. Do. I shall escort Ulla to the Scholastica dormitory and speak with the instructors. When all has been settled, let us speak again in St. Romanol's Cathedral. You should be glad to hear that Ulla will be fine. Sister Gazelle is with her now, tending to her needs as we speak. I expect she shall soon be strong enough to answer our questions. Until then, however, we must make do with what information the Temple Knights can extract from the kidnappers. Unfortunately, while the ruffians confessed to abducting Ulla in exchange for a large sum of gil, they have told us little less of value thus far. Apparently, their employer draped themselves in such thick furs they could not even make it out and say if they were a man or a woman. They claimed this cloak figure offered no explanation as to why they wanted them to snatch the girl and keep her confined in the carriage indefinitely, and so they had no choice but to keep moving and stay ahead of the temple knights and await further instructions. Hopefully, we will learn more as the interrogations progress. I fear, however, our mastermind has cloaked themselves in a layer upon layer of secrecy, and it will take more than a few pointed questions to penetrate all of them. But regardless of how well they've hidden their intentions and their identity, we will bring them to justice soon enough. And once we learn all that we can from our friends in the Temple Knight's custody, as well as Ulla, we will be that much closer to restoring peace to the Scholasticate. To shine the light of truth upon the secrets buried in the dark, the children once more come together, that they may know her power and her glory. Let's grab some water. Back to School 2 is complete. All right. 30 more minutes. Reardon's eyes smolder with determination. Beardian, that's what I meant to say. Ah, Piet, I was wondering when you'd show up. The Temple Knights have deemed Ulla fit to recount the events of her kidnapping and have taken her into the room just beyond for questioning, with Blaze to accompany for support. It would appear the questioning is done. Let us see what we might learn. Though. Hail, good man. I'm Inspector Brereton, and this is my associate Pieter. I understand you've spoken with Ulla regarding her kidnapping. Is there aught we might share with us? Inspector Brereton, Master Pieter, I fear it would seem that Lady Ulla knows even less about her own abduction than we do. As she tells it, the only people she saw during her captivity were the two thugs now in our custody. We've questioned them thrice over, but they insist their employer disguised themselves so well they cannot even say for certain if they are a man or a woman, much less give us a description. From what little is worth, we did learn that the two were once orphans, raised as chargers of the sea, to betray the nation that fed and clothed them for a handful of coin. I must return to my post. Should we come across anything of actual significance, I shall be sure to alert you. Alert. 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 Blaze, are there any other details our friend may have neglected to mention? I fear that Ulla's testimony proved entirely unenlightening. There's another development, however, that has been troubling me. Rumors that Archibald de Ben was behind the abduction are circulating around the Scholasticate once more. Again, those asinine allegations. And this time the students seem convinced more than ever of his guilt. No longer content to sit back and wait for events to take their course, they've been pushing for his expulsion. He has been doing his best to convince them to disregard the rumors, but it seems any mention of Archibald only serves to fuel their rage. I must hurry back and help them. I suspect this is less of a reflection of the prefect himself than a manifestation of aimless anxiety and fear. Still, I dare say this commotion might prove to be an opportunity in disguise. I shall make my way to the vault to continue my own investigations. In the meantime, I ask that you go and keep an eye on the seminarians and bear an ear to the ground. Quest accepted. Sometime I need to head by the market and start selling stuff again. Student Buddy's revenge has been accepted. Try to keep your voice down on inside the Scholasticate. Alright, we'll just talk around inside here. Everybody loves a library. Oh man, they're definitely not keeping their voices down. And what if those ruffians truly were in his employ? Are we to stand idly by while he betrays one of us, as he did poor Ula? Yeah. His refusal to provide us with anything resembling a reasonable explanation speaks for itself. The boy is guilty, and I say we move to have him expelled from the Scholasticate effective immediately. Thamosent, I demand that you take the lead in this charge. I don't wanna. Thank the fury you've come, Pieter. Since the headmistress called everyone away for an emergency meeting, it's been absolutely chaos. Oh, they're so incensed. They won't listen to a word Theo or I say. Perhaps if you were to speak with them, you could help soothe their angry feelings. On second thought, I dare say you have the right of it. The prefect has the house, the richest of House Dismail at his disposal, and powerful allies just waiting to spring to his aid. We must step back and consider our actions carefully, lest we find ourselves strung up by our necks. So you suggest we do nothing. The longer we dither about without making action, the greater the risk of him finding us out. And when he does, he'll see every last one of us suffer for it, mark my words. He is frightened, as we all are. That is precisely why we must proceed with caution. As you rightly observed, if we act out of anger or despair, we only doom ourselves to failure. Please, sir, if you would rally his spirits as you have calmed my own. Rally, rally. You can do this. But of course, it's exactly as you say. Forgive me. My fear had gotten the better of me. Indeed, there's little he can do to us if we act as one and proceed with due caution. And remember, once Chachoban is removed from the school, the administration will keep us safe, so we need not fear his retribution ever again. We must move swiftly but surely to ensure his expulsion. Thamosent, can we count on you to lead us? Thank you, Pieter. Now that everyone is feeling more at ease, let us open the floor for discussion. I welcome any and all opinions, provided that they are delivered in a calm and orderly fashion. I believe there's just cause to expel Ajabaradim. As Pieter was kind enough to point out, however, we should not act brashly. That is why you, Thamosent, with your calm demeanor, was best suited to lead our appeal to have him removed. What say you? Given the way he's treated you in the past, I can understand why you'd readily assume the worst of him. I cannot help but believe, however, that he, too, was a victim in all this. I strain to think why anyone who cares so deeply about the Scholasticate and its inhabitants could commit such an atrocity. Theo, for fury's sake, you would defend the very individual who, for the past several years, ridiculed and tortured us? It's not so impossible for you to believe that he's capable of such villainy. Yes. Until there's proof to say he is guilty, we must give him the benefit of the doubt. Theo's rightly. I bear no great love for Ashurbanipal either, but even the Temple Knights have been unable to uncover a single piece of evidence tying him to the kidnapping. The same knights who pulled the wool over our eyes for 1,000 years, stripping us all of everything we own, and protect men like him? That's heartbreaking it is to hear. I would have thought that after you had endured the Archibald's hand, you would stand with us. I see that I was wrong. Friends, it would seem the commoner has grown too content under the nobleman's yoke to fight for his ideals. If we are to see justice served, we must do so in our own strength and our own voices. Let us draft a petition that our grievances might be heard and the blackguard expelled. How can they be so blind? The villain who kidnapped Ullah is playing us all for fools, stoking the flames of hatred. We might all be consumed by them. Being manipulated. Damson looks down and sighs in defeat. If only I could have done more to dissuade them. This blind persecution will only serve to further divide us, and the Archibald's expulsion would be a tremendous loss to the Scholasticate. Why will no one listen to reason? Theo, there's still time to turn things around, I'm sure of it. I'll help you in any way I can. Thank you, Blaze, for your kind words. And indeed, it is not too late to reverse the course of today's events. We should try speaking with Father Sartanoa. Surely he'll know what to do. Incredible. Despite all that, you're still intent on saving Archibald. Peter, there's no out of it. There's no use talking him out of it now. Consider how the last discussion ended. It would put me much at ease if you would accompany us. I shall be staying behind. There are a few things I would attend to here. My dear Blaze, if you would, I could do with an extra pair of hands. In that case, Lady Pieter, let us make haste to the cathedral. The headmistress's meeting will not run forever, and we must catch Father Satanoa before the others do. "15 minutes till the end of the stream. Satanoa. Thamosant, Lee, and Pieter. What brings you here in such a hurry? Mayhap it concerns a petition I just received from the student body. Not to worry. Rest assured I have reviewed the document and will be submitting it to the headmistress shortly, along with my own strong recommendation in favor of Archibald's immediate and irrevocable expulsion from the Scholasticate. Wait, Father. We are not here in support of the petition, but rather to argue against it. We cannot rightly expel Archibald for a crime that the evidence, or lack thereof, suggests he did not even commit. Quite true, and yet it is not because I believe him guilty that I have chosen to move forward with this proposal. Then why? For too long has the Church been corrupted by men and women who would see its foundation built upon sin instead of virtue. I mean to put an end to this vicious cycle. What are you saying? Thamosant, Lee, there's something you must know. When I was young, I too was taken under the wing of Father Poisson. It was by his good graces that I granted admission into the Scholasticate, not unlike yourselves. I devoted myself entirely to my studies, that I might prove myself worthy of his kindness. My dedication was rewarded when I graduated at the top of my class, and secured a prized position among the archives, alongside some of the Holy See's most esteemed individuals. It was there that I met a man who would become my closest friend and confidant. For 10 years he had toiled in the sea's darkest recesses, working to see that the ugly truth of Ishgard's past would never see the light of day. Until the day the burden grew too great to bear, and he took his own life. For years I was torn between grief and anger at not being able to save him from his fate. Fearing my anguish would consume me, I found succor in my religion. Day and night I'd pore over scripture, and soon I found myself back in these very holes, not as a student, but as a teacher. A tragic story indeed, and you have my condolences for your loss, but what does any of this to have to do with Archibald? Of the Fury's love, and with all, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. Doubtless you too are familiar with these words. Those who deny the teachings of Volume 11 commit the greatest sin of all. They must bear full responsibility for the injustices wrought on the victims of our society. Master Ashurbadan has done naught but scorn the truths penned within this very tome. I have no love for the bastard, but what you propose is to lay the blame for generation upon generation of the Church's transgressions at his feet. I do only what must be done. Countless lives were lost in the Dragonsong War. We must needs purge the Church of any who espouse the false ideal that all men are not born equal, that the sins of our past are never repeated, and that the clergy might be restored to its former glory. I have faith in you, my children. Reflect on the teachings of Father Poisson. If you do not understand now, you will soon enough. Who strove always to adhere to the principles espoused in equal under her ever-watchful gaze. 'Tis equally true that Ashurbadan has been outspoken in condemning that self-same passage. Still, that hardly warrants his expulsion. You must admit the man has a point. Making an example of the son of one of Ishgard's most prominent houses would send a message, and it just might be the fastest way to bring about the change he seeks. Whether or not that change would be for the better, however, is another matter entirely. It was one thing when it was just an angry mob of seminarians calling for Ashurbadan's head. Now that Father Hassan intends to lead the charge, it's another matter entirely. Oh, whatever are we to do? We must speak with Ashurbadan. Yes. But of course, Ashurbadan's nothing if not astute. He's sure to have an idea or two of how to extradite himself from this predicament. Come, let us make for the pillars. We must do what is right, though the heavens fall down upon us. Do what is right and damn the consequences. Ashurbadan. What baseless accusations would you come to hurl at me this time? Attempting to destroy the church? Or perhaps you were to bring light to the personal hand I had in instigating the Dragonsong War? Perhaps instead of entertaining every ridiculous rumor you hear, you might actually make yourself useful for once. You can start by questioning those two beside you. After all, they're the ones who arranged this entire farce and have been spreading these letters in a pathetically transparent attempt to incriminate me that I might be expelled. Please listen. Ashurbadan, we know the accusations being leveled against you are unfounded. I know we've had our differences, but today we come to lend you our aid. He's so full of rage he can scarce hear a word I say. Please, Peter, perhaps you can try soothing him. Please, calm down, Ashurbadan. Don't make me laugh. You expect me to believe that you, the two who would stand to gain the most from my expulsion, have not so much as seen the nonsense that's been making the rounds of the dormitories? Truth revealed, Ashurbadan did Zamel the kidnapper. Trust me, were we to try and implicate you in a crime that you did not commit, we've done a far more thorough job than this. Indeed, these writings simply make an appeal to emotion, with not a single piece of concrete evidence to support the accusation. Fine. Perhaps it wasn't you two after all. Still, you rest assured that when I get my hands on the commoner that did this, they shall rue the day that they thought to meddle with the affairs of House Zemail. You best realize we commoners are not the ones on trial here. You are. I suggest you watch your tongue, lest you would prefer to lose the only allies you seem to have these days. Do not lose heart, Ashur-Badon. Together, we shall uncover the truth and see that this baseless petition against you is withdrawn. Why should I need your help? My innocence is beyond question. And the Fury herself will see my good name restored. I pray that she will. In the meantime, we shall do our part too. Oh, Fury's sake, Theo. Leave it be. Oh, that aside, where do these papers even come from? Why didn't we receive one? If I had to guess, perhaps they were given only to those most inclined to believe the accusations. Foolishness at best. If anything, these letters are only give me the clues I need to identify the coward behind them. As a matter of fact, I believe I know precisely where to begin my search. Brilliant. Well, we'd be more than happy to assist you in the investigation. Where would you have us go? Oh. And hand you the very knife you would put at my back. Do you think me daft? If the petition is approved and I am expelled, that would put you right at the top of the class. How very convenient. Oh, Ashur-Badon, don't you see? It is not for awards or accolades that I study the scriptures I do. I seek only to follow the footsteps of Father Croissant. It was he who granted me the chance to achieve the grand vision he had for our realm, and to bring relief to those in need of spiritual succor. Of the Fury's love will all men receive, and by the balance of her spear will all be set free. I would share the wisdom of these words with all of Ishgard. Volume 11 of the 72 Articles of Hellenic Polity. What is it with commoners and their obsession with that over-idealistic screed? Come, Ashur-Badon. Let us not waste any further time entertaining the idle musings of a riffraff. Now, we can manage just fine without your help, but if you do find anything, not that we expect you to, you report it back to us if you know what's good for you. Understand? I didn't know better. I must say that sounded like a thank you. Well, if there's nothing else to do here, I suppose we should set to work. An excellent idea, Lee. Now, where do you propose we should start? On the Fury save us. One more mission and that should be it. Oh, if Theo wasn't so insistent on helping that bastard, I'd have left him to his own ways out of this mess. If we could only track down the author of the letters and convince them to recant these statements, the studio buddy would have no choice but to withdraw their motion. Why do we even search? Searching for more of the same document, of course. A brilliant plan, Pieter. By examining all the letters we will have distributed throughout the Scholasticate, we may very well find clues leading us to the culprit. It's settled then. Let's return to the Scholasticate and commence our search. Let's try to hurry. We got 2 minutes to get this finished. Pray keep your voices down inside the Scholasticate. Quiet in the library. Come along. He has already appraised me of the situation, not that he needed to, mind you. If enough for the very reason that I remained behind in the blaze to investigate the origin of the nasty rumors flying about. It didn't take long for us to connect the rumors to the letters and coax one of the seminarians to show us the document they received. I investigated further, and behold, they are all the ones I managed to collect in my search thus far. Under normal circumstances, the baseless invectives penned here would hardly suffice to convince anyone. It would seem, however, years of harbored animosity have blinded people to their better judgment. There's one. Oh, yes. In fact, Cromwell and I have been gathering letters all morning. Feast your eyes upon them. One of the girls said the letter just showed up at her bed, as if out of nowhere. I returned to my quarters to check if it had received something similar, but there's nothing to be found. At first I thought it a simple oversight, but after asking around I learned that there were more than a few others, like me, who had been overlooked. Suspicious letters? Whatever you're talking about, I've not received anything of the sort. Now that you mention it, however, I did observe some of my seminarians tossing out crumpled slips of paper. Perhaps these are the letters you seek. I found another letter. And another one laying down here. Ah, Pieter, did your search prove fruitful? I found 4 letters. Excellent. Let's take a closer look and see what we can discern. How curious. It would appear our culprit has gone through the trouble of writing and distributing 3 distinctly different versions of the letter. The first reads, as illustrated by the recent abduction that has taken place within these sacred halls, Ashwaubenon will stop at nothing to eliminate those who stand in his way. Such blatant disrespect of her teachings will not be tolerated. The second said, it is one thing to disagree with the opinions of your fellow seminarians, it is quite another to abuse one's influence to have your ideological opponents removed. Allah, a firmly believer in the teachings of the volume 11 of the Articles of Hellenic Polity and staunch advocate of equality, fell victim to Ashwaubenon's treachery. The villain cannot go unpunished. And last but not least, Allah's copy of volume 11 was discovered in the prefect's room shortly after the girl's disappearance. This, more than anything, proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that Ashwaubenon is guilty. While the final letter at least offers an argument, it's hardly a compelling one. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but there are several copies of the Articles of Hellenic Polity sitting in the library shelves. But I can't speak of why Ashwaubenon should have one in the first place. The book found in his quarters could have been any one of those. Blaise, when you spoke with Ula earlier, did she mention anything about volume 11? I didn't think of it at the time, but when Ula was recovering from the infirmary, she asked that I retrieve her copy from her room. When I went to look for it, it wasn't there. Which would mean the tome was removed unbeknownst to her. So it would seem. After all, she testified that when the two thugs seized her in the marketplace, she had nothing of her person but a pocket of gil. Presumably, the book was still in her quarters then. You'd be wondering if the book had disappeared with Ula. But for someone to sneak into her room and retrieve it after the fact, why, it's as if the culprit intended to use it to frame Ashwaubenon all along. Well, I bet my last gil you're right. And that's the reason none of us received a letter. We're the only people who would come to confirm with Ula that the book had been pilfered from her own room. Who would go to such lengths to frame Ashwaubenon? That's our Theo, always striving to help his fellow man, even if the man is all that stands between him and the top of the class. It's enough to leave a girl smitten, isn't it, Blaise? What are you talking about? I'm not smitten. I admire him for his kind heart, that's all. Blaise, why did she dash off like that? Has she taken ill? In a manner of speaking. I'll go and make sure she's okay. Oh dear, well, whatever it is, I hope she recovers quickly. In the meantime, we need to put our heads together if we hope to get out of this mess. Pieter, what do you think? Why would anyone go to such lengths to implicate Ashwaubenon?
throw others off the scent.
But of course, none save the kidnappers, him and herself, would have such a strong motive to concoct this convoluted plan, which raises the possibility that the kidnapping was not but to have a plot of Asha'aban expelled in the first place. In other words, if we can track down the person behind these letters, we'll have ourselves the culprit behind Ulah's abduction. We must inform Inspector Brereton straight away. Of course. He's currently conducting an investigation into the vault, you say? Well, let us make our way there with all speed. So what's going to happen now is I'm going to stand over here and we're going to end for the day. All right. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. We'll be back next Sunday.